How y'all doing? Great for stopping by and tuning in as always. And it's wide open parking here. And as soon as I park in a good spot, some guy got the nerve to park right next to me on the opposite side. But anywho, so this is it. On the journey to get my pilot's license, private pilot's license certificate. My very first flight lesson. I'm here an hour early. It's 8 minutes after 9. It's a 3-hour block with flight jets, or excuse me, most particular flight schools, I guess 2 to 3 hour blocks. But that doesn't mean I'm flying for the whole block. Because in between, basically, you have a ground session, which is the first hour, or for a half hour during the first hour block, and then the second hour is the actual flight lesson in the air, flight time, which I'm only going up for. It says aircraft built for 1.7 hours. Excuse me. And then the third and final hour, come back down, land, and debrief, and go over what we covered throughout the flight lesson phase to some strengths and weaknesses, basically, whatever I need to have worked on, study said material, or what have you. But it should be simple, straightforward, but my CFI though, so like I said, the previous video, so thank y'all for tuning into that for the premiere previously on it. When he came out, I said, hey, well, when I got back home, excuse me, I immediately emailed him, because that's his preferred method of contact. He has his personal cell phone number and then the number to the office on there. That's on every card for an instructor, whoever that's employed there, and including the chief pilot himself. But saying, yeah, that's his best preferred method of contact is email. He told me that last month when I first met him for the ground one-on-one school session with him for the 25 minutes that I was there. So, and I can see why, because he emailed me back fast, just like that. I said, yeah, can we get a lesson in before the holiday, which is as of this coming week? And he said, yeah, don't worry, I already reserved us a spot in advance for as of today, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, like I said, in between the second hour block is when I'll actually be flying, so for 1.7 hours. And then I said the previous video too at the end of it that, about as far as the filming and stuff. Now, this won't be filmed. I'm just gonna document as far as what we covered, unfortunately, because I don't have yet the investment of getting GoPros and all that, or maybe at least one, because I'm telling you right now, flight school is very expensive. If I had said that already, I will probably still make a separate video for it, but this is gonna come out to 500 and some change. Oh, that's the thing I didn't say as far as when he scheduled me for the reservation today. This was surprising, but he put me, I guess what he thought was, I don't know, the only maybe available aircraft that they had in their fleet available to book. Well, if that was the case, it was the most expensive one on the list, which is a plane that is just now new to the market. That shout out to brother Mike Ojo, Mojo Grip, had documented at the air show, Oshkosh Air Venture in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, a Piper Pilot 100i. And over here, the rental fees for it starts at, it's at $225 an hour, $225 an hour. The instructor fees on top of that, which don't change, those are the same. It's just $52 an hour. So, excuse me, you do the math with the 3-hour block, well, I'll say an hour and a half block flight time with it, or just all the aircraft, it's going to come out to 500 and some change. So he was like, yeah, if you need to make adjustments, if that's too much for you, we can put you in something least expensive for rental, such and such, so it's not too much of a financial burden on you. So I was like, yeah. So he said, well, contact the front office about it, which I did, like probably 2 days later. And they were like, yeah, our cheapest is, I think they said the, excuse me, the Piper Cherokee. So their fleet, they have Cherokees, Archers, the 100i. The I stands for instrument, which is a whole IFR panel, but you can use it from what I was told by them for VFR flying. And then they have two Cessnas. Oh, and a Bonanza. So that's their whole fleet. But the Cessnas range around 100 some. I forgot. It's around that range, but it's a lot lower than the most expensive out the whole fleet, the 100i. The rates start from 195, which is for the Cherokee or whatever, up to 225 for the 100i. So again, that's the aircraft rental fees, fuel included, you know. So, and then like I said, the instructor's rate fees here for flight jets is $52 an hour. So I just wanted to make just a quick mention, but the other school I was at for just a discovery flight and were to have done my training there with Blue Line, once again, shout out to as I mentioned to them, but they actually just moved over to Johnson Regional down the road from me as of the past 2 days of moving their entire fleet of Diamond Star DA-40s, and I think, yeah, they have like a Cessna or two over there. So they're now finally in business. I mean, as far as I think the office, as far as the inside, is almost done as far as like constructing and all that. But for the most part, they're in business over there. So congratulations once again to them. And yeah, it's just a new chapter for them over there. So while like I said, meanwhile, I have to commute back and forth over here to RDU, which isn't that bad depending on traffic. It's only 37 minute drive out here in comparison to, like I said, driving a minute down the road to Johnson Regional. But I'll be doing airport hop myself while doing this training with my instructor, and then once I do go solo, like I said, I'm here an hour early. I have to pay to park here though. It's $8 for the first well, the first hour is free. After that, up to 6 hours is $8, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so we're just gonna, matter of fact, my CFI, he should is already be in a lesson right now, flight lesson, and then go to me next, because I checked the calendar excuse me, on my flight circle, thing they have set up. Now, mind you, this is finally my very first lesson in my life I ever take, flight lesson. So, yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. Very, very quite interesting. So, this truck goes home, waste any more fuel, because I just filled it up a couple days ago before I got paid Friday, so at my current old job. But yeah, I brought all my supplies with me. Yeah, brought all my current supplies with me. I actually brought the test prep, but I brought the Jefferson Private Pilot book, which goes in depth of everything in each chapter. I brought my supplement, my aeronautical chart. Oh yeah, most definitely the plotter, the navigational plotter, and the flight computer, E6B flight computer. Like I said, I don't have a CX3, which they didn't have or in the stock, but whatever they do, I guess I can get one of those. Or I mean, it's just a standard calculator, basically, but it has more functions on it than a standard calculator does. So yeah, 9:17 now. I'll just, like I said, just go and chill. They got a separate room, like meeting conference room. I guess I'll just wait in there until my instructor is ready for me. Yeah, somebody though they have scheduled on there the simulator was finally I've now seen listed on there somebody to be scheduled for that. So, but they said that's mainly used for when you go towards your instrument in commercial phases in flight, but not for private. So it's a Redbird simulator. They have one. ATP has one downstairs below them on the first floor, and so does Blue Line. Well, even now at their in Johnson Regional, moving it over there. But yeah, that's all it is. It's just an actual built-in simulator of an actual aircraft that you'll be flying for the most part. Just like with the with the jetliners and stuff, they have actual home built-in simulators of those. A built-in simulator for a Dreamliner, 787 Dreamliner, 747, so on and so, of which you'll be flying. So yeah, just test simulations for what to do in real world scenario situations. So yep. So it's 11 minutes on this recording. So yep. Again, wish me. So again, like I said, they said, when I talked to them again about the documentation and wanting to film and stuff, they're like, well, if you're gonna do that, they said at the front desk, you want to blur the CFIs out or what have you, or just I guess protecting their own image and stuff or whatever. But again, that's at the discretion of all different flight schools. Each flight school is different. But from what I've seen on people's channels like Mike Ojo's channel and Brother Russ's channel, that they were okay with the film certain lessons and not have their faces blurred out. But I told because they were like, are you trying to document your whole entire training? I said, no, not every lesson. I mean, like a few here and there. Like, okay, prime example, when I get to soloing, I should have a GoPro by then to film stuff. And if that wasn't the case, if I had already had my license and was just renting planes at my discretion, then yeah, filming or whatever. But I can at least for this video, again, just give y'all an overview, debrief or whatever on how it all went. And yeah, basically just go from there. So as far as my code, like I said, it had like my voice is back. That's one good thing. It's just I'm just getting rid of all the mucus and stuff out of my throat. Still as far as drinking hot green tea and everything. Not trying to drink as much as cold fluids because that doesn't help at all of flushing it out. Hot fluids of course does. So I think that's about it. Right now, like I said, I will get back at y'all later. So but yeah, the next time I will go up, it will obviously be after the holiday weekend, so sometime next month. Plan in advance. So they were saying, yeah, about that I can book my own. I don't have to wait for them to book my CFI or whoever. I told them, yeah, because this is all new to me. So, but yeah, I got this. So yeah, I'll be going up in a Cessna 172 SP, and yeah, I also brought my logbook with me too, because yeah, I need that to log in my time. Like I said, I currently have 1.5 from the Discovery flight at Blue Line. So all right, I'll let y'all later. There's one more minute in on this and it'll be 15 minutes. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I don't even know where to start because this was a very, very interesting lesson. My very first flight lesson. Hang on, y'all. Take my hat off because I was sweating. Yeah. When I first got, I was nervous at the beginning. I don't even know where to start, and because that's the thing. I don't want to make this too long of a video. I'm just gonna go over what me and my instructor cover. It is now 15 minutes till 1. So we got done, 15 minutes early. But my 3-hour block from 10 to 1, so around 11 into 12 for 1.7 hours is the total time I went flying. So when I first walked in, he was already finished with his first instructor. Hang on, y'all. My mother calling. Hold on. Apologize about that, y'all. I am back. It's now 2 a.m. 2 a.m. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the dot. Just got off the phone with my mother, so I was on the phone with her for an hour and some change. But this was an interesting day. She just wanted to know how everything went. The first thing I brought up to her was the flight cost. Like I thought, be roughly, it did turn out to be 500 plus and some change. So the total flight cost for my very first flight lesson in my lifetime to getting a private pilot's license cost me $444.40. I repeat, $444.40. Flat out. For the whole entire, that's for the whole entire 3-hour block. That's the flight time included. But the aircraft, like I said, was a Cessna 172, billed at 1.7 hours. Total flight time, in between that, the ground lesson for 30 minutes during the 1st-hour block. And then our debriefer coming back down in the 3rd and final hour block. And he had said, that's the total amount of how much it cost. So basically needing that money up front, right then and there, either beforehand or after the flight. So I immediately texted my mother. I said, yes, they need this money now, and you can pay either via check or card. And why would you necessarily really pay cash if you actually had that wild amount of cash on you? But I'm just saying, they needed the money right then and there. So she helped me out with that, putting it on account, because I have my account as far as card set up in their system, to pay out for each lesson that I do, reservation, whatever are set up with them. So I'm trying to get comfortable. It's a beautiful day. So she was like, I'll send the money to you. You can pay it instantly, which I did. I went back up there and told them, I paid it. They said, you should get an email receipt via your email and all of that. Okay, cool. So fast forward into, first thing, so during the ground session, I try to get this out as much as I can so this doesn't be too long, otherwise I might have to break it up. But my instructor, the same guy I was telling you, but he's very cool, laid back. First thing he asked me was, he said we're in Class Charlie Airspace that RDU was in. What do you know about such said airspace, Class Charlie Airspace? And I said, to answer your question, for starters, Class Charlie Airspace is in Magenta. And he said, correct. And then I was going to explain to him as far as that outer nautical mile range of it. And he said, we're not going to get into detail on that. But he explained as far as other things surrounding and about Class Charlie Airspace. And after that, then he said, our lesson, your very first lesson for today, since this is your first time of doing this, so now the step getting your license is we're going to go over the basic control flight maneuvers, which of course that's for anybody for their very first lesson. And those were climbs, descents, and power off descents. It's the same thing. Power is just you just pull the power back, the island, the plane descends, but that's what he titled it as. But those three things. And with turns in between. So he said our route of flight, VFR conditions, because that's what the weather is today. VFR, checked it in for flight. They head out north up to Hotel November Zulu, which is Henderson Oxford Airport. Never been there before, but no, we weren't going there to land and come back to RD. We were just going in that direction, which is basically like their practice area to practice said maneuvers, climbs, turns, descends, power off descends, and slow flight. Oh, and stalls. Power on and power off stalls, which, that is something else. But hey, it's part of the ACS standards. I can explain in a later video, but briefly, I just want to go over and cover that. Then he mentioned about the pre-flight inspection checklist in the booklet or binder, Pilot's Operating Handbook binder, for the Cessna that we were going to fly in, and I had to be with him at all times as a personal escort. Why? Because he has the airport badge ID and I don't, to get us on and off the tarmac. And if I'm soloing by myself, I need to show them my CDL license or proof of identity that they know who I am and what my intentions are here. Because I'll tell you one thing, if you all probably know by now, but airports are high security. So airport police, are right on site. So yeah, you can't, you know the rest. But yeah, they're high security. So ever since, again, after 9/11, airport traveling, airplane travel has never been the same. I'm saying, well, as far as for the airliners, but general aviation, a little different. But same rules still apply. But anywho, yeah, walk with him over to the plane and do the pre-flight, which is simple. Do a walk around, make sure everything's in good working order from the propeller. Well, we started off with the fuel tanks. The fuel tanks are on the top of each high wing of the Cessna. So one on the left tank and one on the left wing, and then the tank on the right wing. So a left tank, left wing, right tank, right wing. Open them up, make sure that there's full of fuel in there flowing, and to test out to make sure that there's no bubbles and that it's clear. You just grab a sample of them underneath the tanks, underneath the wings, and put them back in there. Otherwise, from watching Mike Ojo's older video of the pre-flight inspection on a Diamond Star GA40 of tossing it out onto the ground, with somebody put in a comment section saying that it's illegal to do that and that you're supposed to normally, standard procedure, stuff the water back into the tank, the fuel intake. But anywho, I'm just saying, you just drain them out to sample, like I said, to make sure that there's no bubbles or nothing like that, and that is clear. But then you put them back in each tank, the fuel samples. What else? The pitot stew thing and all that. Yeah, I'll have to go more in depth probably in another video. But checking for the stall horn, which was that squeaky sound I was telling y'all about in my Discovery flight I had. Well, there's an actual thing where you can test to see if it works, and it goes into this part of the wing or whatever. And then what's called static whips. That's the first time I'm hearing that term and what it is. But I can put information down below more on it or something. So yeah, that was the whole pre-flight on the outside. Then doing the pre-flight on the inside, checking the lights, make sure they were working. Nav, beacon, strobe, taxi, landing lights, all of that. Turning the avionics on, plugging up our headsets that they provide you. You don't have to buy it on, I guess, if you can or if it's required. But for starters, for my very first lesson, they provided me one. Plug that up. He plugged his up. Radio check. We can hear each other. Communication check. Turn on the master switch, which is red buttons. Then for the battery, put the key in ignition myself, and I started the plane for the first time. I started a propellered plane, prop plane for the first time. Now, he called out clear prop, not me. But let me start the plane up with the mixture set to where it needed to be. Do engine check for the RPMs, oil level, pressure, temp pressure were all good in the green. Engine check, run up, done. Now, then get the ATIS information as he is playing in the classroom or in the back room. Excuse me. Getting the ATIS information, giving me a sheet which they call a script of how you would conduct yourself to ATC. When talking to ATC, saying you first get ATIS information, then you get your clearance delivery information, whether your VFR or RFR, it works both ways, to where you're trying to go, altitude, discretion, your type aircraft, and what information you have on the phonetic alphabet on the ATIS. For us, we had, I think it was golf, information golf from the ATIS. The ATIS, that's just your weather information, basically, on the hour, every hour. So on the hour, every hour, the phonetic alphabet changes. So from golf, the next hour, it changes over to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so it changes from golf to hotel on the next hour, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, we got our clearance delivery, but he was doing the calls. I'll probably, he said, will in the next lesson or two, do communications, but my focus was just the maneuvering of the aircraft. So he got the clearance delivery for us to go HNZ, Henderson Oxford direction north, and then taught the ground, then taught the tower to get our clearance to take off. That's why I said this is where it got interesting. So come to find out, according to fourth flight, there are temporary flight restrictions in the area, and they're not presidential. Which I could, again, I'll put a video, Brother Russ did a video on as far as for presidential TFRs, but there's all different type of no-go zone, no-fly zone restriction areas. These are in place, they're inactive, but they're in place because the college, they're used for major games that take place, sports, college and sports on the weekends. So I don't even know why, but I mean, it is what it is, but they have them set up in the area nearby, not too far away. And at the same time, half of Air Force One, the 757, was here at the time, practicing touch and goes while all this is going on, or while all that is going on. So we were right in their path on for takeoff. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? We're now gonna get some serious wake turbulence as a result once they take off, after they take off. Well, luckily we didn't, because we steered all the way to the, well, he did the takeoff stuff controls, but he steered all the way to the right. We took off from runway 23 left. He steered us all to the right, going across the garage and the other runway opposite that, and up north we went on the Durham side. And yeah, those in these conditions, standard warm, cooler conditions, the aircraft will perform a lot better, much better. And again, they'll taxi down the runway fast as hell, like a speed of lightning. You'll be up there in no time. When you reach your takeoff speed, VA speed, maneuvering speed, best rate of climb, angle speed, and all that. And then he mentioned angle of attack as far as on the power off, or was it the power on stall? And yeah, so most of the time it was at my controls. That's this thing they have, and Russ mentioned in his earlier videos, like first flight lesson. They got this thing, procedure with instructors and trainers and trainees, that it's a phrase that's called my controls, your controls, whenever they're going over a certain maneuver with you or with one another. So that's what he did with me. He said before we started the engine or whatever, he was like, yeah, say it with me. My controls, your controls, my controls, in that order. So when it was my controls, he said, yeah, practice some turns. 90 degrees to the east, 180 degrees south, 270 west, then back 360 north. The whole entire time in a patch of middle of nowhere fields outside of Class Charlie. That was our purpose, to get out of Class Charlie to the practice area near Henderson Oxford and do said maneuvers. But like I said, he demonstrated as far as the power on and the power off stall. And how can I put this? Again, I can put the videos up from Russ's brother Mike Ojo's videos, but those are definitely not a good feeling, but it's part of the ACS Airman Certification Standards and FAA regulations at the end of the day, if you want to pass your check ride, because that's how you handle real life situations where you need to recover. But I'm telling you right now, I'll just say this to make it simpler for those that might not even, if you're thinking of a car stall like kind of thing, or an engine goes out, no, not necessarily. I'm talking about stall as I posted in or in the disclaimer note when I had my discovery flight at the other school at Blue Line, that basically, yeah, the wing drops, the air stops producing lift, and you're losing speed, the air stops producing lift, and the plane just wants to drop. So to make it simpler for y'all, for newbies, just think of going up on a roller coaster. When you go up to the top to where it drops, when you go up to the top slowly and all that, that's basically like what the stall is like in a sense. You're just waiting for that drop. There you go. The stall horn goes off, you drop, and you gotta recover quick, because if you don't, that's what turns into a spin. So I could do a separate video on that of stalls and spins, or at least for stalls. But he said no, because we're not gonna encounter any spins. He just wanted to go with me as far as what stalls are. But yeah, I was basically holding on for dear life. Power on stalls are not as bad, but the power off stalls are not as bad. But the power on stalls, yeah, that's just, yeah. So after that, like I said, we practiced more of the turning, using the rudder. And the thing about the rudder is, yes, there is left turning tendencies in the torque. We have to use right rudder, not just on takeoff, but even while making turns and stuff, trying to keep the plane coordinated in a straight level flight, and then leveling out back to straight level flight. But then he got our clearances to come on back here to land, and it was his controls out through the descent and through the landing phase. And then my controls getting to taxi us back to the ramp, the upper ramp. And we came back, like I said, that was the cost of the whole flight. $444.40, and then to get this renter's insurance coverage that he mentioned at the beginning of the lesson. So set that up already, and that's it. So $8 to leave the lot now, up to 6 hours, because the first hour is free. Yeah, that's it. So so that money has been paid off, and now I'll wait till I get paid again this following Friday. But hey, all that matters is I got one in before the holiday. They're not going to be closed for the whole holiday week. Just for Thanksgiving Day, and I think they said Friday. But they'll be open all the other days of next week, and including the weekend. My instructor, he'll be heading home for the holidays. He's from Louisiana originally. So he'll be down there. He's a nice guy, very laid back. Him and his other students, they train in Pipers and low wing. It's just his preference, because I guess it just performs better than compared to high wing Cessnas. And I don't know. I told him, for me, I don't have a preference between the two. It's just whatever for me. But I'm saying, as far as economically wise, something that's cheaper. So Cessnas are second to none. The Piper Cherokee is the least expensive, starting at $195 an hour for them. So, and that's the Piper 100i is at $225 an hour, the highest. So, but yeah, they had other instructors and students there from the school and ATP next door, all going up. So like I said, today is a crazy, hectic hump day as is. Because Class Charlie airspace for RDU is used for both aviation, airline operations and general aviation operations. So, yeah, there you have it. There you have it. So, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, that's it. The lesson's done. So sometime next month, I'll do my second lesson. What he said we'll cover more power on, mainly focus on power on and off stalls. So he said, that's your homework from this point on out till you schedule your next lesson. Read up on stalls. Read up on power offs, power on stalls. So, I can look it up online, he said, or his PDF files, so you don't have to purchase anything. The books and stuff I brought with me, said, yeah, you didn't need to bring that to begin with. I was like, well, I didn't know, because I emailed him last week, but I didn't know. So he said, yeah, you can leave that stuff behind, because you won't need that as of right now. Just bring your driver's license, your CDL, and your medical, which he needed a copy of earlier, which he already took care of that. And when I do sign up for my student pilot certificate, everything will be good. And as far as his renter's insurance, it'll be good. So, that's it. Read up on stalls. Then I'll learn about ATC communications. When I then start talking to ATC and other pilots, fellow pilots, and yeah, that's it. Like I said, we covered so much with climbs, turns, and descents, you know, all within 1.7 hours. So my total flight time together right now I have is 2.7, but round that up to 3 hours. So I had 3 hours of total flight time. That's included with the Discovery flight I had previous. So three total flight hours. Well, I still need up to 40. So I got a long ways to go, but I can make it happen. I want to get at least my license before next summer hits, when it gets too hot. But so that's the other thing. So when I pass the exam on the second take, the same rules still apply for me completing the whole course of getting the license. I still have up to 2 years. So when I failed the exam on the first try, it said July of 2023 I had up until. Now, since I passed the exam on the second take, that November 30th of 2023 is when I now have of 2 years to get the license. So I thought it was just for the test. They said, no, it's for the whole entire course. The whole entire course, you get the license, the rating certificate is how long you have, up to 2 years. So no matter when the months change, you still have 2 years to get it all done. So that's it. So, all right, I'm about to head out of here. It's a beautiful day. It is, what is the temperature real quick? 71 degrees. See, that's what I'm saying. It was 30 this morning, and it got up to 71. Oh, now it's 72. So, but I'm saying below 80. So, still beautiful day, still be a park condition. So, all right, y'all. From my channel to your channel. Salute. Gulfstream Entertainment, Michael Carter Studios and Production. Oh yeah, if you enjoyed my channel, check out these channels.